And we are back for another GAC. We're currently in the third week and we're finally starting to catch the hang of things. We went 1 and 2 last week, so it looks like this week is going to be a little bit more balanced for us in terms of rosters. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Our first opponent this week is Phantom. I'm guessing that's his name. Looks like a pretty good guy. Let's go ahead and pull up his roster before we get to the actual board here. But yeah, so this is him again. We're finally... Okay, so there are still these people with 100 risk rating, but we are getting into a more colorful risk rating. So a lot of people in the 60s and 70s. But yeah, Phantom, our first one, he's as a risk rating of 66. He only has 147 more relic levels, which is really nice for us, but also probably means he's a pretty good player to be up this high and to have a lower relic level, kind of like that. As far as mods go, he does have really good mods as well. Not quite up to where we are in the higher end, like the plus 20s, the plus 25s, but I mean, he's got us beaten plus 15s, and he has us, that's kind of awkward, actually. That's the only area he's beat us in. We've got him beaten plus 10s, although those are less important, but overall, pretty much the same there. Omicrons, once again, oh, this is different. This is not going to be the same as always. So he's got Star Killer instead of us, and we have the first order TIE pilot one, which that's pretty normal by now. But what's interesting is he has the Tusken Omicron for 3v3, strength in numbers, and he puts it on defense. So win or lose, we're going to be able to go against that today. And he's missing one other one. I think looks like it's Iden, which is pretty good. But overall, pretty even match, at least a lot more even than we've been seeing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the boards. I did set a specific defense for this guy depending on what he sets, but it looks like he's already started changing things up. But for my defense, it's pretty much the same as it's always been. I still running Qui-Gon Jinn, Maul, Gas, and then these two funky teams here. Not really funky teams, but our usual teams. And then in the back, I went back for the last couple rounds to setting JMK and Lord Vader on defense. I need to figure out what to do with Lord Vader in threes, because like this comp, does our opponent have Fennec? He probably does. That comp is just complete Fennec food, and it really sucks to lose a Galactic Legend to a non-Galactic Legends, especially in threes. But I have no use for Lord Vader on offense. Honestly, if they don't set C. So yeah, so he's got an R7 Fennec. I think even poorly modded, and this does not look poorly modded at all. Nope, that's really well. Oh wow, that's a nice mod. I like that. It's really not good to be trading a GL for a non-GL, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do with Lord Vader. If I'm just going to stick him with Maul instead of leaving that Maul team, I don't know if Nest is going to catch on for that or not. But anyways, so that's our defense. Top is the same as has been through the last couple matches. Nothing super new. I kept Iden there, Boba's there, all the other normal teams, and my ships is my typical FU defense, if we want to call it that. His defense is pretty good. I'm a little concerned about the back wall, because I'm going to try some things today that I don't know how well they're going to work. So he has a Bad Lord Vader team here as well. We don't have Fennec, unfortunately, so we're going to have to throw I think JML is going to be the choice there. Qui-Gon Jinn, this will either be Wampa or Thrawn, and then the other Wampa or Thrawn will take this team here. Geo Ray, we're going to do something fun. We're going to take an SLKR Mon Mothma versus that and see where it gets us. And then here, the Monarch Jade isn't particularly very fast. She's actually kind of slow. 321, so she's 391. After the Star Killer boost, but that's not enough to outspeed our first order. So we're gonna try to Hux that. Hux and first order TIE fighter pilot with Lobster. We do have a really stark relic disadvantage in that fight though. Like it's an R8 SLKR and our team is like R5 across the board. So I don't know if it's gonna work. Up top doesn't seem that big of a deal either. JTR will kill this. Geos will kill this. Jedi Knight Revan something will kill this. There's the Tusken. And that'll probably we'll just probably use Traya, and then I think we're gonna try Nest here, so should be a good match. Hopefully we don't fail, but I just think we're kind of prone to. There's too many new battles in this, but let's go ahead and see them. And this is where the fun begins. Let's go ahead and get to these battles. So first off, we have to take out the Galactic Legends on bottom. First off being Rey, and this Rey comp, not this exact Rey comp, but pretty much any Rey with Hoda has been not only giving us, but a lot of people massive issues because the 25% offense boost that she gets from Hoda, also being offense modded, makes her a real giant threat. So, while Rey is the queen of 3v3 defense, SLKR is the king of 3v3 offense. Just an amazing, absolutely amazing character. I probably need to make a video strictly on him at some point. Also, this part of the video lags for some reason, but the concept is still here and the concept is still seen. We go ahead and take in Mon Mothma here. And the reason why we took in Mon Mothma, and I guess actually the cutting there kind of ruined the concept a little bit, is so that when Rey gets her first ult, Kylo has a buddy to stand by him so that he doesn't just get completely one-shot. Because if you take in 2 other characters, they'll get Whirlwind. But because Mon Mothma can't be targeted, we were able to tank the Whirlwinds ourselves as Kylo because we take reduced damage on those. And then by the time that Rey actually gets around to her second ult, we have ours, which also gives us damage immunity. So again, Mon Mothma was there because she can't be targeted, so she couldn't be Whirlwind, so that our SLKR would be able to tank the first Whirlwind because the damage would be split between him and her. And then by the time Rey's second ult comes around, we had her ult, and then she's dead before her third. So as a strategy there, I really like it. That was a really well offense modded Rey. If my SLKR would have been there alone, he would have been easily one-shot. That being said, SLKR is our typical counter to Lord Vader, so we're not able to use him twice, which would be great if we could. So we're taking this little number against Lord Vader for funsies. I know JML, like in general, does pretty good, and I misplayed there a little bit. So Kyle Katarn is a way to cleanse himself. He's the only one that can do that on my team. I shouldn't have used Hoda's cleanse on him. That wasn't great. So definitely should use that on JML. And then Kyle Katarn could have just cleansed himself, because then we can call to assist. We can get the lead damage here. This Lord Vader was modded really well. However, the sides, I mean, they're only R5, and they're kind of not great. Also, I do like the concept of Kyle Katarn with Jedi Master Luke. I like that a lot. However, in this exact battle, I don't know if I would recommend this, because with Kyle Katarn's triple tap, it gets Lord Vader to ult a lot easier than he would normally. And we misplayed here a little bit. I was just gonna, I should have really held the ultimate until Lord Vader actually procced his. Even though he didn't use his big hit right there, he's going to here in a second, and it has ability block. So my Hoda and my Kyle Katarn cleanse are now useless because we have permanent ability block, whereas JML's ultimate would have actually been able to clear the dots while him being ability blocked. You can see it doesn't end up being that big of a deal. Lord Vader eventually drops his ult so we can start ability blocking him, and then just the raw damage pretty much from Jedi Master Luke's lead ability just kills him. So that worked really well. This battle is pretty good. So we're coming in here at a pretty stark relative disadvantage. It's an R8 Star Killer, and we have an R5 Lobster. We do go first. You guys can probably see that by now, but you can see how not great that is. If we had an R5 Lobster, this probably would have been a very different battle. However, this battle is far from over just because we didn't kill Star Killer right out the gate. We tried to land the buff immunity there on Star Killer. I don't even think it was the buff immunity, but I think it was like the offense down or the health down. Any one of those would have been great, because I think one of them is dependent on crits. So we go ahead, and I believe we use our cleanse right now, just to get the advantage back up on Sith Trooper and Hux. That way that they can get their 100 bonus speed back. We now have a pretty good shot at Star Killer. So we go for the basic, almost kill him. We had some people saying in chat that we should have been swapping over to First Order TIE Pilot, because then gained Foresight. But I remember back later, that's a bonus turn. It's not bonus turn meter, so I don't think that would have worked. I do think that counter is going to be much more consistent if you're able to match gear levels. We just weren't here. R5 versus R8 is a really heavy cost. So we go in and we take in C to try to clean up. I don't think this can be considered a cleanup. We didn't kill anyone. And I did take in Sith Trooper here just because they were preloaded, and I didn't want Palps to take a bunch of hits right in the beginning. So make sure to link Star Killer. If you do not link Star Killer, this loses, and it's pretty darn ugly. Palp tanks the ship like a tank, as he should. We're able to zap both Star Killer and Mar out of there, which is great. Unfortunately, we're still left to deal with Palp here, and his shock is pretty annoying. This is a fun little slappy fight we get to, and of course we win it because we're the Galactic Legend, but still. So ooh, this is fun. So we take in Bad Batch against their cam team. This one is a little sketchy, but if you can land every stun, which is kind of a hard ask, but if you can land every stun here, this seems to be really consistent, at least against the cam variation. Because, so we didn't land all of them in the beginning, but we dodged, so it's kind of the same thing. So we landed all the stuns, and now what we're going to do, we're going to put the Spos on Qui-Gon to make him a little bit weaker. But for the big hit here, we're not just going to kill Qui-Gon, because if we do that, Jedi Anakin is just going to slaughter us. We stun Jedi Anakin because of the move that What's-His-Face has. And now we're pretty much just able to clean up here. And this is really nice because the AI is really dumb. Cam goes into his swap stance to cleanse the stuff, but when he did that, he burned all of his bonus offense from Qui-Gon Jinn because he only gets that bonus offense for 2 turns. And then obviously you can see he just doesn't, without the bonus offense, he doesn't have enough to even kill our Echo and Tech. So that works pretty well. Again, if you can land all those stuns, that should be, you should be able to do that again. There's a better word for that, but anyways. So we go ahead and take in this fun thing, this Vader Thrawn team. I mean, this team is just so good, especially without Malik there, because once the Veer cleansed off Vader, he got 100% turn meter because of all of Bastila's debuffs. So that was great. Big misplay here. We should be calling Bastila Fallen, not Darth Revan, because even if we kill Darth Revan, he comes back. So huge misplay on our part there. We should have called Bastila Fallen. As you can see, it doesn't really matter. We're able to loop back around. We're able to fracture Darth Revan. We've done this counter a number of times. It always works. I mean, it has yet to fail. Even, I suppose you could argue that it was a little bit sketchier when Malik was there, but even then, like, we beat all the teams with Malik, and it just takes a lot extra time actually to get around to him. We get our next Merciless, and we just killed Darth Revan. Pretty easy. Good job, Vader. So now we're up against, I believe it's a CLS team, and we've been using this counter a lot. The enemy team wasn't modded in a really great way to stop this, so I mean, this is pretty much just easy. Like, there was no tenacity, there was no crit avoidance. Yeah, there's just not a lot they can do. We land some of the few exposed, we land all the debuffs on Chewbacca because, we should. And then it's just running things as normal, constantly putting the... You might be able to get away with putting the Foresight on BB-8 if you have like an R7 BB-8 from Galactic Legend Ray. We do not have a R7 BB-8, so we put it on JTR, and that seems to be working just fine. We go for the kill there on Chewbacca. Don't really regret that. R2 gets some pretty nasty debuffs, but at the end of the day, CLS just isn't going to solo this team with 3PO there. So this is interesting. Do this. So you can see that our R2 has a bunch of confusion on him, which means he can't gain the stealth buff. So instead of stealthing just the stealth and probably getting killed, we go for the stun because CLS sets tenacity down. And then from there, we get Illuminated Destiny, and that's all she wrote. We're going to go ahead and take Geos versus Bam. Man, I got to do something with Bam. So this isn't ours, obviously. This is our opponent, but... I mean, Geos just eat Bam for breakfast. Even like the quote-unquote good comp, at least in 3s, and 5s not really. But dang, this is nasty. Like this is not good for Bam at all. Like this is just such an easy counter, and we did it against Emo last week, where he had a Stark Relic advantage, and it still like changed nothing. Like we lost a few protection banners because of the dots keep spinning back out on us. So. For my defense, because I think I put Bam down too. What I need to do is I need Fennec and start using Grief, Fennec, and Bam versus Lord Vader. That's what I need to do. This is really fun. So we ran Nest versus a Maul team last time because they had Droidic in there, and this one has Bo. And like we've always kind of thought, oh, this doesn't work because Bo has days. Well, Bo is one of those stupid characters who will not use their AoE against a single target if they don't have any debuff, or they don't have any buffs to cleanse, or dispel rather. So they get tenacity down, they get 100 dots on us, whatever it is, and Ness don't care. She just don't care. Bo-Katan never lands the days, even though she definitely would because we have tenacity down, but she just refuses to use the move. There is a little bit of a timeout risk on this team because of number one, Bo adds an extra layer of protection on top of what she already has, but she also adds protection recovery, health recovery as well, I believe, whenever they assist out of turn, which, as you can see with Maul, is going to happen a lot. So, and there aren't too many buffs and debuffs on the enemy team. I mean, we get an expose every basic, and they pretty much get a taunt every turn, so that helps. But if you don't have enough offense, I could definitely see this timing out. So we just try to take out Canderous there, try to get lucky. I'm not really know if I'm too certain on who you really need to kill, because obviously you can kill Bo-Katan. She's tankier than Canderous. That gets rid of the health recovery. But at the same time, if you kill Canderous first, then there's also one less character to assist, and the health and protection recovery goes down no matter what. So I'm not sure if I'm really sold on which one you have to kill first. I kind of just like seeing the one that didn't have the taunt because it didn't have bonus defense, but it's kind of irrelevant. So this is sketchy. So we take in our Traya, and you think, oh, Traya is a way better team than Tuskens, right? So they have the Omicron. There's that. They just one-shot. They just one-shot my Traya. And I'm in the stream, I'm kind of like in panic mode. I was like, okay, so maybe this still works. Maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. Like, Nihilus and Cyan are pretty great characters, but at the same time, ugh. So Cyan's taking things pretty well. We do get around to our Annihilate rather quickly, actually, at least the first one. And I'm trying to figure out which one of them's the summon. And actually, if you look in the top, see if I can get this pointing thing right. Nope, can't do it. Okay, top right corner there, you can see that one's the summon. We eventually figured that out, so we made sure to annihilate the one that wasn't the summon, because anti-revive stuff does not work against characters that resummon, because they're technically a different character. I don't know how that works. Well, I do know how it works. I just said how it works. Anyways, so now this actually does get kind of sucky, though, because he'll keep resummoning no matter what, as long as the other two Tuskens are alive, and we don't have a way to ignore taunt. So both Cyan and Nihilus, they have AoEs, but they're not super high damaging AoEs. So basically what we have to do here is we just have to set it on auto and hope that their AoEs eventually just do enough damage. Luckily, these Tuskens are very low gear. Are not the Tusken Raider, obviously, but the other two, I think they were gear 11 or something like that. So eventually our AoEs just continue to work them down. The health down from Nihilus' Zeta is pretty cool. I think that definitely helps. Yep, and that works. So if you're gonna try that, you really need to match gear level, because if Traya had survived, she would have been able to isolate that second guy. So that would have been really good. But she died, so that sucked. So we're gonna go and take on Wampa versus Dash. We've done this a whole lot of times. This is not like the only counter that works here. I was debating on using Jedi Knight Revan again, because we got that to work last time. And this is an easy counter, I guess you could say. It's a little bit hard to pull off, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but we're not using Icebreaker. We're not using our cleanse except for when we have days on us, which is very, very important. If you burn that first, like if you use Icebreaker the very first move, you're going to get dazed, and you're probably just going to get daze locked, and you're probably just going to get killed. So this is a very delicate, well, it's a very easy counter to kind of do. It is a very delicate counter. You can see there again, we skipped the Icebreaker so that we could wait until we had daze. Only use it when you have daze. If not, it'll end poorly. So yeah, we're just stacking up our offense. Sooner or later, we're gonna get a big hit, either the basic or the AoE onto Vandor Chewbacca. We've done this a number of times, and it's always worked. It's never really been sketchy. Wampa's just so good in threes, man. He's so good. We used him to take out C, I think it was in the last match, and I mean, I just look at a board and I'll be like, okay, this entire wall can beat Wampa. Which one is the highest value? But this guy, his back wall teams weren't that bad. Once we got through Lord Vader and Rey, it was just kind of pick and shoot. But yeah, Starkiller as well. Starkiller was kind of a pain in the butt. But yep, just trying to time everything right here. We got dazed again, so we have the Icebreaker to be able to get that off. Vandor eventually goes down, and I mean, that's game. I think we just whomp him right there. Very nice Wampa, good job. We go and take in our Bounty Hunters versus Inquisitors. I'm going to be honest, I still don't have any idea what Inquisitors do. I know that I shouldn't take Jedi against them, and I actually had a lot of Jedi left over at this point. I had the Bastila team, I had the Jedi Knight Revan team, and I think I might have had one more, like, half Jedi, like some combo. Anyway, so my Bounty Hunters are, like, they're gear 12 on some of them, but I figured they'd be fine. Well, eventually, they don't have the 8th brother who stealths, so I knew that Mando would be able to just get contract by going around here and calling Grief to assist for the double tap. And then once he gets his annihilates, I mean, I don't care how much defense, protection, health, whatever you have on your Ninth Sister, disintegrates don't care. So that works really well. And I think at this point, we just kind of put it on auto. Like, there's no, I mean, it's just going to take longer if we try to keep pushing the buttons, which... yeah, so we get Ninth Sister out of there, just press auto and just let them have at it. I mean, it's going to be full banners because we're going to have her stunned and we constantly get health and protection back. Oh, we had Jedi Knight Luke too. That was our other Jedi team. That's what I was thinking of. So we take Jedi Knight Luke versus this team, and this is, man, I'm every single time I use her, I'm reminded how good Ayla is. Like, she's not top tier Jedi, but man, like, you see really how good she is. We don't go for the stun with Jedi Knight Luke in the very first turn just because they were pretty much stunned for the most part. Thanks, Ayla. I went ahead and put the defense up here for fun. I mean, both these two characters ignore taunts. Ayla gets the kill shot on Ness, so that was cool. And yeah, we get him down. Very, very good. We had this team left over. This is honestly pretty much overkill. Troopers here versus this weird Dooku team. Or I guess rather Nute team, but I mean, you might as well use it. So we avoid, I think we avoid the AoE here because I don't want Duke to counter and then him to do things to my Dark Trooper. I just don't want him to do that. So just use the basic there. They can get extortion off. Don't really care. Kill Dooku on that move, and then this is really fun. Kill Nute twice in one turn so it doesn't get to steal banners. Absolutely love it. So this was dumb. We were trying... Maybe it wasn't that dumb. Maybe we just played it poorly. We were trying to conserve banners because there were 2 teams left and we can Jedi Knight Revan one and Bastila the other one. And I knew Jedi Knight Revan, my Jedi Knight Revan would work here. It would have been like Jedi Knight Revan Cam Jolie. So, you know, good team. But my Jedi Knight Revan never, ever gets good banners versus Grievous. And that was a misplay right there. We shouldn't have hit Grievous. We should have kept on B1 because when we hit Grievous, my idea was to try to drop his turn meter. But what... We did drop his turn meter, but in doing that, we took him below 100% health, which meant that their Magna was going to get a mark on him. So that sucked. Definitely misplayed that there. But yeah, the idea was just get better banners against this team because Jedi Knight Revan, the other team was it's a Hux team, Hux Fost Lobster team, and I knew that either Jedi Knight Revan or Bastila could take that out. But as you can see here, in my attempt to get better banners, we get much worse banners because we lose this match. So I probably misplayed it, but at the same time, this is just me getting greedy. Oh, this is it's a fun match. Just Padme getting Giz protection up to Padme. She gets 20 stacks of courage and then one-shots Grievous. So that was fun. I mean, that was good cleanup banners, I guess. And then yeah, Cam just gets to absolutely slaughter this team as he does for most teams. Call him in twice. I think we went right after Lobster just because I didn't want to have to deal with him AoE and stealing my banners. And yeah, they did really well. 57. Good for them. So my opponent, we got to ships. We were able to clear the ground. We had some mistakes. Some battles we probably couldn't have prevented just because with what we were trying to test. But at the same time, we did make some bad calls. So the Tarkin team, I mean, so Malevolence beats kind of all Empire comps. At least that's been my experience. But man, does Tarkin make it easy. So if you go back, you can see that the Interceptor, or the prototype, was called in first. That's really bad. Because he comes in, and he cleanses everything off, and he dispels everything before I get to use my big cleanse. So he comes in, places buff immunity on everyone. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have a cleanse that I haven't used yet because we haven't even taken a turn. So, I mean, that just really sets us up for success here. Even with the other days, even with everything, we do just fine. I mean, a lot of the Empire, not just Tarkin, but a lot of the Empire synergy is very anti-light side. Levels being dark side. Works out pretty well. I hate this battle. This is starting to become like one of my... I have... These counters come in and out every now and then, where a counter that works every single time, but it never feels good. And this is just one of those battles. This is First Order versus the Resistance. I just don't know, man. Like, there's so much recovery. They have so much foresight and evasion up. It just never feels good. Even having the 5-star echelon, and I guess 7 stars will feel better than 5 stars, I'm guessing. But I don't know. It's maybe I'm missing something. If anyone in the chat would like to tell me how to play this better, something my strategy's wrong. I don't even feel like I have a real strategy with this. I just go in, do what I think is right in the moment, and it always works out, so I shouldn't complain, but at the same time, it never feels good. It's not like the, like taking Negotiator counter Malevolence. I know that with 5s, if I basic Hyena, he gives Buzz Droids to everyone, he gives Anakin like 16 turns, and then we just win. This one is just like, oh, we kill the tank, we try to make sure the Millennium Falcon doesn't have any buffs, I hope they don't kill us, like, I don't even know, I'm sorry, guys, I don't really even know what to give commentary-wise here. Like, I can tell you why I did what I did, but I don't know if that's the right move. Call in Silencer. They keep buffing that character, so that's fun. I think we just go for the basic there for the protection up, so that was kind of nice. We were able to get out their tank, but now it's just the 2 of us. Like, this isn't good. This is not how you want the fight to go. You don't want to be outnumbered. We're able to one-shot the Millennium Falcon, so that was pretty dandy. They bring in Phoenix, which it's kind of annoying because they take control of the field pretty quickly. But, you know, Poe gets 3 dodges on us because, you know, evasion up that's what it does. And again, this is not going great. Like, they have 4 characters to our 2 here for a second. Like, I don't enjoy that. So we go ahead and call in Silencer because I know the first hit will wipe out the Foresight. Now I just have these 2 Phoenix characters to deal with, and First Order, or Silencer does just fine. So because we don't have Biston, and I keep saying this, but it's just not going to happen right now. There's too many other things up happening. So we don't have Biston, so our rebels are not able to take out a negotiator team unless we do this fancy move where we use our burner. And this was some really bad RNG here. So we take in rebels after using the burner. This is fine. The opening's fine. They use their basics, whatever. But I should really count. I should have counted that before I did the stream, because my Millennium Falcon doesn't assist. Like, ever. Yeah, so I think we're like 3 turns into this. We didn't assist, so we weren't able to just kill Ahsoka, which should have been very easy. I guess we did get the assist there. We don't get the assist here, so we have to call in casting because we weren't able to rip that off. I'm like, oh, we can just nuke him. This will be easy. We don't get the typical assist from Millennium Falcon. We don't get it again there. So I mean, we're like, I don't know. I'm probably guessing in here, but I think we're like 2 for 9 assists. So this is just it's really bad. Go back, try to get Anakin down again. Don't get the assist again. We're going to go ahead and put the shield disruptor on him. We do get the assist, but in a time that it's much less lenient field. We just need an AoE now, so we can kill Anakin. But yeah, this is like, there are multiple moments, had we gotten the right assist, things would have been delayed. Like, there was a kill on Ahsoka that we missed because we didn't get like 1 3 assists. Anakin didn't go down before he got his thing because of like two opportunities to assist that he didn't. We do finally get Jedi Anakin out now, so that's good. But at the same time, like, the battle has gone on for a long time. They were able to take control of the field. Yeah, we're just, even without Anakin there, we're just under heavy fire. Ahsoka's doing a decent amount of damage. We're able to get the days off. That's really nice. We do get Ahsoka out, but now we don't have any tanks. So their whatchamacallit comes out, does a pretty decent amount of damage. I'm just trying to get out their attackers so that if we do have to, I guess, triple shot this after our burner, then we'll be okay. And again, we don't get the assist from Millennium Falcon there. We only get the one that we called. And now we're dazed, and like, this isn't looking good at all. And I think pretty sure this ult is worthless while we're both dazed because we don't get those bonus turns. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was a misplay. But yeah, I mean, they just rock us here. So that one really sucks. So now I literally have to clean this up with garbage. Like, I have nothing else. I don't know. I don't have another fleet, so this just has to be garbage. Luckily, they have no attacker left in the squad, so they're not going to do a lot of damage. All we have to do is survive, and because we're actually learning from our mistakes, we have Thrawn. So I've tried to do this before with Tarkin, and Tarkin's ultimate just didn't get me anywhere. So I specifically switched using Tarkin on defense so that we could use this strategy on offense. And if we ever got stuck in this type of situation, Thrawn would eventually just be able to annihilate the whole team out. So we do stick it on auto here for a minute because we're not doing any damage, like, at all. So I'm starting to get worried that the only damage we're going to have, period, is going to be Tarkin's Annihilates. Not Tarkin's Annihilates, Thrawn's Annihilates. So, again, just put it on auto. Really just kind of hoping this whole thing plays out. Luckily, we do get the first one. So at this point, I take it off auto because, okay, we got rid of the main tank. They shouldn't have a lot of survivability. I probably don't need the Annihilates to kill them now. I can just go ahead and do it manually. But even still, this is kind of a pain in the butt here. We had enough damage to kill Jedi Consular, but we don't have enough damage to kill Plo. So I mean, this is just a fact of our roster. Again, if we had actual Raddus, we would have had a better cleanup, or if we would have just had, Bithden, we wouldn't have to deal with this in general. So I want to get the unending loyalty off of Rex before we annihilate because otherwise that kind of saves him and it just becomes pointless. But Plo doesn't have it anymore, so we just go ahead and annihilate him. And yeah, Rex isn't going to solo everything, so we bring in the last reinforcements and kill everyone. So we're able to get the last fleet down. And once again, 3v3 is being decided by nothing else than ships. So our opponent did really well. He did really well on ground. I think he one-shot almost everything. I think he had a little bit of trouble with my JMK back. But I'm guessing he only burned maybe 1 or 2 Galactic Legends in front, which meant that he was able to use multiple Galactic Legends against my JMK, assuming that's what happened. I think it is. My garbage Lord Vader got killed by something, probably Fennec, who knows. He one-shot all this. And then, yeah, man, ships once again saving our butt. So I hate Negotiator, but he does a lot of work for me, so did really well there. We're now up to 5 wins for the season, and then there's still, 4 left? Yeah, I think that's right. So We're still actually no 5. So yeah, we're doing really well to be able to come out of this on top. So I'm pretty happy. But as always, guys, remember to like and subscribe. Until the next time, stay awesome.